Take a look at a map of North America, and you will see that Nebraska is almost at the center. And while that is cool from a geographical perspective, what does it have to do with habitats? Well, this central location means Nebraska is the place where western habitats meet eastern habitats and northern habitats meet southern habitats. All these habitats come together in an area known as the Sandhills. The Sandhills are located in north-central Nebraska, and while you might think that its location between shortgrass prairies in the west and tallgrass prairies in the east would mean the area is home to mixed-grass prairie, that is not actually the case. In fact, the Sandhills are their own unique habitat, unlike any other in the world. This area has thousands of small lakes, giant dunes of sandy soils, valleys of wetlands, and dune-top prairies. Because the Sandhills have both wetlands and prairie, the diversity or variety of plants is huge. In fact, the Sandhills ecosystem is home to nearly 700 different plant species. In the prairie areas, you will find grasses such as prairie sandreed, little bluestem, hairy grama, and sand bluestem. You will also find flowering plants including stiff sunflower, prairie rose, prickly poppy, and hairy puccoon. When a prairie fire does come through the Sandhills, the sandy soils are bare for a short time before the plants begin to grow again. Without the plants to hold the sand in place, wind will blow the sand and change the shape of the dune. Areas with wind-blown, barren soil are known as blowouts. These small, temporary microhabitats are home to very specific plants that only grow in blowouts. One of these plants is blowout penstemon. Because fires do not happen as much in the Sandhills as they did in the past, blowouts are more rare, and the blowout penstemon is considered a threatened species. Remember that the Sandhills have both dune prairies and valley wetlands. In fact, the Sandhills have more acres of wetlands than any other area in the state. So why would you find so many wetlands in an area that still doesn't have much rain? It all has to do with groundwater. Water found underground between rocks and soil particles. As the huge dunes of the Sandhills dip down, they dip so low that they actually hit the level of groundwater. So the wetlands get all their water from the ground, not rain. In these wetland areas, you can find plants such as canary grass, prairie cordgrass, bulrush, and sedges. Flowering plants include swamp milkweed, smartweed, and several species of arrowhead. Because the area has extensive wetlands, it is home to many species of waterfowl and shorebirds such as mallards, blue-winged teal, pelicans, American avocet, and western grebe. But because the area also has prairie, it is home to songbirds, upland birds such as prairie chickens, Ferruginous hawks, and black-billed magpie. As a matter of fact, over 300 year-round and migratory bird species can be found in the Sandhills. The Upland Sandpiper is a migratory species that is well adapted to spending its summers in sandhill wetlands. They are easily identified by their long, straight beak. What is the purpose of this long, straight bill? Well, we know that a bird's beak, or bill, is often shaped to help the bird eat specific foods. For example, a ferruginous hawk's short, curved beak is perfect for tearing and eating meat. Or a prairie chicken's beak is great for pecking at insects on the prairie. The upland sandpiper's bill is designed specifically for sticking into wet soils to look or probe for insects, worms, and crustaceans. This behavior is called probing. This adaptation is perfect for wetland-loving birds because wetland areas are filled with tiny aquatic species. Another cool species that can be found in the Sandhills is the American burying beetle. Most predators do not like to eat dead animals. Well, the American burying beetle is an exception. An American burying beetle will use its antenna to smell a dead animal from up to 2 miles away. If the dead animal is larger, like a possum or a large bird, the American burying beetle will eat the dead animal. If the dead animal is small, like a mouse or a vole, they will use it for laying eggs. First, the mating pair will move the carcass to a safe place and cover the carcass with secretions to prevent the carcass from rotting. Then they will bury the prepared carcass. After all of this is done, they will lay their eggs right on the carcass. When the eggs hatch, the larvae have a meal ready to eat. Important way that dead animals are decomposed and recycled. This small but mighty species is listed as an endangered species, but in Nebraska, our population of American burying beetles are fairly strong. The western hognose snake is also a common find in the Sandhills. This small snake is well camouflaged to hide from both predators and prey, but that's not its only defense. Most predators like to eat fresh food. This way, they know the food they are about to eat is not diseased or rotting. Because of this, many predators will not eat prey that's already dead. So what does this have to do with the western hognose snake? How might the western hognose use that information as a defense? If threatened, the western hognose will often play dead. It will roll on its back and even open its mouth. Sometimes this means the predator will take one look and move on, allowing the hognose to live another day. The Sandhills are also home to a variety of reptiles and amphibians, including the Blandings turtle. This ever-smiling aquatic turtle is a rare find in other states, but in Nebraska it's fairly common. As you can see, the Sandhills are a unique ecosystem that is home to a wide variety of both plants and animals. This fascinating ecosystem is one of the highest quality prairie landscapes in the United States.